GETTYPHRed Dwarf will air on Thursday, 9 p.m. on Channel DaveMany. Actors claim to suffer for their craft, whether it's performing daring stunts or hitting the gym for a big role. But Robert Llewellyn has perhaps had it harder than most over the years. After all, the 61-year-old has now spent 3 decades enduring painfully long sessions in the makeup chair, as much as 5 hours at a time, to transform into his robotic alter ego, Crichton, in sitcom Red Dwarf. "I think what I really need, at this point, is some quite intensive therapy. You do have to be slightly bonkers to do this job," laughs Robert, who is unrecognizable without his latex mechanoid outfit. "It's got a lot quicker over the years. It used to be 4 or 5 hours, and now it only takes 2. Thankfully, I'm used to it after all this time." For fans, it's a relief to hear that sweltering in a rubber suit has not put the star off returning for a 12th series of the cult sci-fi comedy. The long-running show, which started on BBC Two back in 1988 and moved to Dave in 2009, follows the adventures of the last human alive, Dave Lister, and his friends, Crichton, Arnold Rimmer and Kat, stranded 3 million years into deep space. The new run on Dave sees Robert reunite once again with his co-stars Danny John Jules Kat, as well as Craig Charles Lister and Chris Barry Rimmer, both of whom join him for our interview. Red Dwarf 12 comprises 6 new episodes, all recorded in front of a live studio audience, and has plenty of treats in store for aficionados. The good ship Red Dwarf has apparently undergone some major changes. "Yeah, we got new lights," deadpans Craig, while Norman Lovett will be back as Holly, the ship's computer, after 18 years away. Rimmer, Chris Barry Lister, Craig Charles, Crichton, Robert Llewellyn and Kat, Danny John Jules. "I'd hate for there to be a final episode." Craig Charles: "There's a rumored return of Rimmer's much-loved alter ego, Ace Rimmer, and an exciting array of guest stars, too, including Call the Midwives' Helen George, the In-Betweeners' James Buckley and Johnny Vegas, the latter, apparently, as a policeman from a futuristic dystopia." And interestingly, for Robert, his fellow Red Dwarfers will finally get an insight into just how uncomfortable his costume is, when they are all transformed into mechanoids for a special episode. "The mask I wore had so much glue on it that I think I was glue sniffing for most of the day," says Chris, 57. Chris actually got ill wearing it. "When I put the mask on, I thought, why am I crying, but I wasn't. I realized I was just sweating out of my eyelids." Chips and Craig Charles, 53. "We had so much respect for Rob after that. The first episode, Cured, sees the Dwarfers come across a space station where the crew has developed a cure for evil, with some entertaining sequences." Tuesday, October 11, 2016. The new series marks the 30th anniversary of the comedy, but far from being bored of the show, Robert admits that he's always excited to return, partly because of the long breaks they enjoy between filming. "If we'd been doing it every year, maybe it would be different. Time might have dragged. But we'll do 1 or 2 series and then have a year off. We've all done a lot of other things in the meantime. It's great to be back doing it again. I can't remember life before Red Dwarf. We're all really close-knit. We're like brothers." He smiles. "We've known each for so long, and I've had a relationship with these guys unlike any relationship I've had with anyone else in my life." Craig agrees. "I've known them longer than I have my wife and children." Of course, the question on everyone's minds now is whether the boys will return for more Red Dwarf. Could we see them back for a 13th, or even a 14th series in the near future? "I'd hate for there to be a final episode," reveals Craig. Craig Charles stars in the new series, which marks the 30th anniversary of the comedy. "It's one of those things where we'd just want to quietly sail off into the distance and not make too much of a fuss about it. The problem with writing final episodes is that they're always disappointing. There's definitely a demand for more, though," adds Robert. "I'm sure we will be back. But we'd better hurry up. We don't have long left at our age, and particularly for me. You don't want to be covered in rubber in old age. It really isn't good for your dwarf." Airs on Thursday, 9 p.m. on Dave.